Hello there. My name is Andrew Boble, and you are here to listen to assistive technology versus instructional technology. Throughout, I'll refer to it as AT, of course, but we all know that that is assistive technology. We'll look at some laws, examples, and practice of these two. So, of course, this is a summary of the research paper. So, structured similarly, but certainly obviously a lot more detail in the paper. So let's proceed. All right, so what is assistive technology? Obviously, if you're watching this presentation, you probably already know the answer to this, and I hope that as you're watching it, you are kind of thinking these concepts through in your head about what we learned in class. So, of course, like I already said, we refer to it as AT, assistive technology, and obviously there's a lot of definitions out there. Some of those vary depending on organization. They seem to encompass pretty much the same idea, but for our purpose here and for the purpose of my research, I stuck to the idea Individuals with Disability Education Act definition of assistive technology, because we are in a K-12 administration program, or I am, so that would be the one that's most pertinent to me. And of course, that's any item or piece of equipment or product or system that is modified or customized, and it's used to increase, maintain, or improve the functional capabilities of a child with a disability. And certainly, as you look throughout the system, whether it's the private sector or insurance companies, things like that, then you can take the child out and put in individual, and the definition is pretty much the same. But obviously, one key part here is that this does not include a medical device that's surgically implanted. So if you're talking about something like a pacemaker or something like that, that is not assistive technology. This would be something that is obviously used by the individual, or a service that's provided to the individual. So of course we have high tech and low tech when it comes to these types of technology. And all assistive technology in the education world is defined within a student's IEP, their individualized education plan. And then we also learned about the SET framework and using an action plan to implement assistive technology. So I certainly talk about those topics within my research as well. And then, of course, on the other side, you have instructional technology. And instructional technology, as defined by the Association for Educational Communications and Technology, or ACET, is very similar, except that it's just not needed. So you'll see in our definition that you have the design and the development and the utilization and the management of all of these resources of learning. A lot of buzzwords within that definition, certainly. But instructional technology is not mandated by IDEA. And this is a type of technology that's used to enhance instruction. So something that's used by an everyday user, whether that's an app on an iPad to get better at math equations, or a microscope to look closer at cells within science class. It's not someone with a disability. So of course, the focus of instructional technology is to facilitate the student's learning. So it's an extension of that student's learning. You have high tech and low tech, of course, and you should have instructional technology, same way you have assistive technology in your IEP. Instructional technology should be listed in your lesson plan as a teacher. And of course, you're looking for meaningful implementation here, not just something to throw on top of anything. So obviously that is something to think forward to as a teacher, where it's not just a Band-Aid, it is meaningful to the lesson. A lot of instructional technology can be found within the ISTE standards, the International Society for Technology and Education, and they have multiple standards for students, educators, administrators, coaches, computer science teachers, all of that. And again, they talk about high tech and low tech. Again, a great thing to be put inside of your lesson plan. And this service not only has standards, but they have an annual conference that is really big within the education world. They provide lesson plans and ways to implement the standards, and they offer professional development opportunities on their website as well. I kind of go over the laws, and I'm not really going to spend a lot of time on this because it's within my research, and we completed this within Module 1 looking at the laws. But this is just a summary of how technology laws have progressed over time, and of course, where we are now with the ESSA and Every Student Succeeds Act taking over for the No Child Left Behind. And of course, if you're in the classroom, that's probably all you hear about. So here's a little bit on high tech and low tech. I think that, again, pretty self-explanatory if you're in this class. I think it's important to know that some organizations do recognize a medium tech here. So you have high tech, low tech, medium tech. But for the purpose of my research and for a lot of examples out there, they do just do high tech and low tech, but know that there are some places that kind of look at that. And then, of course, what does the research say? A lot of different citations that I use throughout my writing. And so here are some of those here. If a student needs technology to present or perform a behavior, then the technology is AT. If the student performs a skill with the technology is removed, then it's IT. And that would be the way to differentiate between assistive technology and instructional technology. And then I go into some ways of how assistive technology affects social interaction and self-confidence. That's talked about a little bit. I do a little bit of reference to some studies where groups use technology and their outcomes within that. So there's a bunch of research within the writing, but overall kind of just backing what assistive technology and instructional technology is used for. And then, of course, my references as well. I really hope that you were able to differentiate between those two, and I really enjoyed this class, and I want to thank you for watching my presentation.